We're actually doing something new today. We're going to give you a live tour of the flood damage to our hometown of Marshall, North Carolina, which is also the home of HVAC TV. So in a few minutes, we're going to drive through downtown Marshall, provided we keep our internet connection, which is being done through this Starlink right here. So we turn this camera on. Starlink right here. And we're driving into downtown Marshall, North Carolina, which was pretty much devastated by the flood. And we're going to give you a live tour, show you live what the damage was. And we're driving in right now. So we're driving down 26. We've got a Starlink connection, which seemed to be working. And we're going to show you image firsthand live drive-through of Marshall. We're going to first go down Big Ivy Road, Nate? Ivy River Road? I think it's Ivy River Road. We're going to show you the flood damage there. And then we're going to drive down Old Marshall Highway, and we're going to show you the flood damage right through the city, provided this internet connection holds up. And I'm going to give you this shot of the mountains here in just a second as we get over this hill. So I would love to know if this is coming through well, if you can see me, if you can hear me, because this is something new. And thank you for the thumbs up. And if we could do this, we'll use this often to bring more live coverage of, HVAC TV is the channel name, so we focus primarily on HVAC, commercial HVAC, but in this case, we're going to give you a tour, and I'm going to flip the camera around, and we're going to give you a tour of Marshall, North Carolina. We're going to drive right through the city that was damaged, one of the most damaged cities in Western North Carolina. We're going to drive right through there and see if we can give you a first-hand look at it. We're doing that for two reasons. One is we want to test the Starlink. Two, it's the home of HVAC TV. I guess there's three reasons, and three is because we want to keep, raising awareness to the damage. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Froggy. Smiley, Birch Forest. Thanks for joining us, and we're going to drive right through this city in a minute here. We've got a Starlink connection in our dashboard right here. We think is going to work. Our Beard Song says, I'm an HVAC student in Greensboro. My heart's with you. Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Yeah, thanks everyone for all the support. We hope this works. I really love to show you the progress we've made in our city here. We're probably about 5 minutes out. What do you think, Nate? Nate gives me the yes. Nate Mormino's driving. Home of HVAC TV. And yeah, we'll do a drive-through of that. I'm hoping this Starlink, and I'm going to give you a shot of these mountains, which is a little bit hard to see on the phone, but it's just a beautiful autumn day up here. Probably easier to see it like that. You can see all the leaves are changing. Yeah, if you're just joining us, we're going to give you a live tour of the flood-stricken areas. Two areas really we're going to drive through. We're going to drive through Marshall, North Carolina, the downtown area, which was devastated. And if you're going to have a flood, it's in the perfect spot for a flood. It's in a valley. It's on the French Broad River where it really narrows. So if you get a lot of water in there. Hey, So from Indiana, just made a trip down last week. Donations. Thank you so much. 1971, that was my birth year. I wonder if that's when you were born too. So we're going to go two areas. We're going to go to Marshall, North Carolina, and then we're going to go to, downtown Marshall, and then we're going to go to Ivy River Road, which is right up here. We're about to turn on it. Ivy River Road had some pretty spectacular damage, so we'll see if that comes through with the camera, and then we'll do Yepers. I was near Morgantown and Well, thank you for your contributions and your help. And a couple reasons why we do this. One is, we're trying to engage our audience more, do more live shows. We're testing out this Starlink right here while we're driving. We haven't done this yet. It seems to be holding up. I look forward to watching. And the other reason is we want to raise awareness to, the flood damage still here. And also, this is our hometown. HVAC TV is the channel we're streaming from. This is where we stream from, which is Marshall, North Carolina. We lost our office actually to the flood, so the floodwaters came up. We're going to show you that. You know, we'll drive by the office here too. When we get through downtown, Nate, we'll drive over to the Capitola building and show them the office. You can go down to Ivy River Road. So we're going to go down Ivy River Road here and show you the damage to this road. Hey, Jimmy, thank you. Hey, happy birthday, Jimmy. You're getting a tour of the flood damage here. So we're about to turn on this road. We're going to give you a live streaming view. Nate hit the gas, and the thing almost went off. Okay, let's see if you guys can see this. So this is River Road. So you can see coming up on the left is the river. This part, it's hard to tell. There's not a lot of damage right here, but you're going to see some serious damage here in a minute. So you can see some of the trees down this area. This part of the river actually looks really good. But you're going to see up here how bad it is. Then we're going to drive right through downtown Marshall. And it wasn't open for the longest time. It's not very long. It's about a mile or two, a couple miles here. But up here in a minute, really bad damage. There's some trees and everything, and not a lot of homes on this road. So the home damage was spared here, but you can see all these trees. This used to be, by the way, one of the most gorgeous drives in the city, and you could just see all the devastation there. I hope that's coming through okay. It's just completely mowed down. It's crazy. It's really kind of heartbreaking. And if you're just joining us, this is a live view of Ivy River Road going towards downtown Marshall, North Carolina. We're going to actually show you the downtown area live streaming here on our YouTube channel. And here's some more damage. There's actually a big, looks like a refrigerator up there. And this really used to be just an amazingly beautiful road, and it will be again someday. Not sure how soon, but it does kind of hurt to drive down here and see all this. And in a minute, we'll be in Marshall, North Carolina, and I hope this live holds up, because Barbara says it freezes up. Yeah, I hope it hangs in there for a few minutes. We'll get down to Marshall. So that's I Road. What this does is it feeds into the French Broad River. So it's a little hard to see, but under that bridge, we're going to get some better shots of it here in a minute. Under that bridge there, it goes right into the French Broad River. So it's I guess what you would call a tributary of the river. So it goes into the French Broad River. Now stay on, because we're going to go through downtown Marshall, North Carolina, and that's where, you know, a lot of the damage came from. Got my man Nate here driving. So we're on 2570, and Marshall is right here coming up on the left in about 2 or 3 miles, something like that. So I'll give you some more shots of the French Broad River. So the French Broad River is where all the flooding occurred. All the major flooding, not all the flooding, all the major flooding. Swannanoa River feeds into it, and also Ivy River, which we just saw. So here's a shot of the French Broad River, and we're heading right into. You got a lot of trees here, so it's hard to see the river. We're going to show that in a minute. So again, coming up on Marshall, North Carolina, right up here. We delivered 4 truckloads to Madison High School. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, Madison High School was a great resource, staging area, and actually a temporary shelter for some families as well. So thank you for doing that. So yeah, so we're getting up to Marshall, North Carolina. We're going to give you there's another shot of the river. Like right now we're high above the French Broad River, but you're going to see when we pull into Marshall here in a minute, it is literally right on the river. And, you know, this part right here didn't get affected very much. Down below here, you can't see it. There's actually a road. What's that road called, Nate? Do you remember? Rollins River Road, I think, or Rollins Road. That totally decimated. And you might be able to some of that. It's a little hard to see. We can come back maybe and do a tour of that road. I did a live show from there the other day. Here's some barricades. They're trying to prevent people from coming through here unless you live here or you have business here. And this is a common scene, this big truck in front of us with some trees on it. So that's Rollins Road down there, and all these houses, we actually just helped clean that house out. All those houses were completely, maybe not completely underwater, but very much underwater. Oh, it's our pleasure. Person was saying thank you for what we're not doing anything, man. I appreciate it. You can see they're trying to repair these lines here. Again, French Broad River, we're going to drive this right into Marshall, North Carolina, which is our hometown and home of HVAC, the channel we're streaming from here. Hang on here if you want to see firsthand. We'll try and go slow as we go through here. But you can see how low we are compared to the French Broad River. I mean, we're literally right, this was all underwater where we're driving right now, I'm sure. And here we go to the city. So we are actually pulling up live to the city of Marshall, North Carolina. I'll do my best to give you a view through the window here. I'm gonna ask Nate to go really slow if he can. I don't think there's anybody behind us. Well, they can deal with it. So Marshall, North Carolina. And you can see all the buildings were, well, you can kind of see the water line is up to the second story, a little bit into the second story. So we are driving live through Marshall, North Carolina, our hometown and the home of our company's YouTube channel that I'm using here, TV. On the left here is the old police department. The river's right over there. It's a little hard to see. Our office is actually right in that building there. But we'll drive over there in a minute. So downtown Marshall, North Carolina. This big church here just was taking out their floors yesterday. We'll get some shots of these buildings here. So the water just ripped right through everything. There's a sign here, it says no splash zone, official splash. We need a no flash zone sign. But all these, you know, at least first stories and up to the second story was underwater. You could see the water line faintly on some of the buildings. And Nate was actually helping clean this building out the other day. So what you're looking at if you're just joining us, Marshall, North Carolina. The floodwaters were up to the second story here. Do you want to go straight, Nate, and we'll turn around? His historic building. And they've got some serious dehumidifiers going there. The Main Street Cafe, which you can see is boarded up. And then here's like a staging area for all the volunteers. Got a couple folks over here. There's the old fire station. And this is a very common scene. A lot of the old wood floors, which were red oak. You know, you could see some folks cleaning mud out of the houses still. And a lot of the floors, which were red oak, got removed. There's just a pile. It used to be a building there. It's not. You probably turn around. Why don't you can you turn around up there, Nate? Get a shot of this, you know. Yeah, that's fine. So you can just see, yeah, there's a big power cable there too. But here is the island across from us. Hold on here for 1 second, Nate. And you can just see that whole island well, we'll drive up on it, was completely underwater. Yeah, thank you, Barbara. It's funny, we're from Florida. We moved here, kind of got ran out of the hurricanes after living there for a couple dozen decades, and you know, we've been through this, which is pretty major. I'm going to put it back on the city. No one needs to see my face. So there's some more, you know. Roberts Hill Road. I'm not sure where that is. Do you know where that is, Nate? We'll see if we can find that for you. There's the old fire station. Magco Brew House, which is a very popular pizza place. There's Zuma up here on the right. Ooh, what's this, gentleman? A lot of working going on here, and believe it or not, this looks so much better than it did just a few weeks ago. But you can see it's just, everything is just decimated. And there's Zuma here. See if we can get a little shot of that, which is completely gutted. The downtown area. I'm not sure about 6 to 9 months, 6 to 9 months. Most people are getting power back on, but I don't know, you know, maybe. And we're gonna drive across the river. So this is actually, I'm gonna lower my window here. You can go slow here, Nate. This is the French Broad River. I hope the live stream's coming through. We're live streaming on our Starlink here. That's the island. We call it the island. There's a name for it, which I forgot. But that was all underwater. You can see the water line actually on those bricks, how high it was. It was almost to the second story, and that building's high up off the ground. But you can see how it's an island because the river kind of splits around it. You want to go to the Capitola real quick? And we're going to drive into the Capitola building, and this is where our office is. So if you're a viewer of HVAC TV, this is where I stream from and where my office is, which is not there anymore. It's just a shell. Maybe we can live stream through there. We're kind of pushing this satellite. Why don't you pull up here, Nate, so we're close to this? We'll see if we can walk in the building. So we're gonna try to take this to another level here and pull up, why don't you pull up, oh, no, pull up over here so the satellite doesn't hit the building. So I'm gonna try and walk in here. I'm not sure if it's gonna work because we're on the star here, but we'll walk out here for just a minute. Let's see, Nate. So this is our building. This is where our office is. I'm going to try and walk outside here because the satellite we have is in the truck, which is right there. And there's the French Broad River. Okay. So we'll see if this Wi-Fi holds up. And I'll just give you a tour. Again, you could probably see the river here in the city, right across the river we just drove through. And here's our office. So that's my office right here. Which actually looks really good compared to what it did when the flood hit. I'm going to walk back over here so we can keep the satellite connection, but maybe I'll get down here and walk on the river so you can see that a little bit. Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, I think the Starlink Mini does a really good job, but you got to stay pretty close to it, is what we're learning. And this is actually a good, you know, hopefully we're raising some awareness and getting a little education here on how to use this thing. So this is the French Broad River right here. And We just drove through downtown Marshall. So that's Marshall right over there. I'm going to turn the camera back around so you can see it. I'll give you a pan here. So there's the bridge we just drove across. The island is over there. There's the French Broad River, and there's the town of Marshall. Okay. All this was all up until the second story of most of these buildings was underwater. The bridge was completely underwater. If you look back at some of our videos right before this started, you can see we were on this bridge and the water was just about to that point there, but the rest after that, it just totally took over. I can tell you, I'm seeing a lot of comments here about, getting help and being prepared. I can tell you the one thing we've learned is, when something like this happens, be prepared. Make sure you have enough water. Make sure you have, unlike me, who has a generator, make sure your generator's ready and you have gas. I had a little bit of gas, but my generator had not been started in a while and we couldn't get it started for 2 days. So we went 4 days without power, but 2 days without the generator, which in the big scheme of things is really nothing, because we are truly blessed when you look at, what's happened to all these businesses over here. And yeah, the landscape sure has changed. It's completely different. This right here was not a beach. This is all from the flood, and this whole parking lot was underwater, and for days and weeks, just mud and dirt. Yeah, the folks around here have done a lot of cleanup. We help when we can, but a lot of the folks here it was insane. It was so great to see the community come together. That's one of the things which, I'm really just so proud of, the way the community came together. There was no politics involved. When you have these kind of crises, it's just people want to help, and we were helping clean up our church, and then we'd move over to the store next to that. When we were done with that, we'd move over to the store next to that. So a lot of that going on, and it was, from that standpoint, it was beautiful. There's wildfire in Northeast right now. Oh, I'm sorry for that. Looks amazing. It's great. People are coming together. Yeah, for sure. Water better than fire. Yeah, I've never been through one of those fires, but they don't look like fun. That's for sure. But again, there's Marshall, our beautiful city. We are actually live streaming this on the Starlink Mini, which seems to be working pretty well. And this is our building where our office is. I just walked over to the office, but we kind of lost the connection. Yeah, and if you want to see the tour of the city, you can go back and watch this video later, but I'm going to give you another pan here. Nate, this is pretty cool. Live stream on the Starlink here. Yeah, bless you too. So yeah, and we appreciate everybody's support through all this, and it's been quite an experience. Again, we're blessed as a family. We live up the mountain a few miles, so we didn't get any damage really. Lost power for a couple days, but nothing compared to what these folks went through down here. So yeah, you're welcome for the update, and thanks for all the prayers. Anybody and everybody who supported poor little Marshall going through this, but we'll get through it, and then we'll get through this and something else will happen. That's life, right? You just got to get through it, and maintaining a positive attitude through this stuff is really good. Trying to keep a sense of humor and get through it one day at a time is the way to do it. So anyway, we thank you all so much for your support. Thanks for tuning in to this live version. I'm really excited we were able to bring this to you and share what's going on in the city. And God bless you all, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.